think this was way too greedy from Chalky to drop that Sylvanas on turn 6. This was a very clean Blood Mage swipe. I'd really like to hear what his thought process was on that, because Chalky, you do not see this guy misstep rarely ever. And so if he's playing that Sylvanas, he has some sort of plan in mind. I'm just curious exactly what it is, because in that spot, I personally am going for the Blood Mage swipe every single time.
Yeah, it seemed like a bold call. And I was expecting him to sort of think about it for a while and, maybe feign other options and then go for it. But no matter what you do in that situation, like Blood Mage swipe, as soon as you see that that's a possibility, you're like, oh, that's an automatic play. Like, well, there's no reason why you wouldn't make it. But interesting choice to go for it. And he does pay the price of a game lost. So now we're going to go into game number 3 with it all tied up. And we're going to get to see this matchup, which I'm actually very interested in. It's going to be Cthulhu Druid from Chalky versus this crazy, wacky N'Zoth Halaziel deck with Chillmaw, no dragons.
I'm calling it right now. This is a bad matchup. I mean, there's just no way this can be a good matchup. I don't like, where does Chalky find a real edge here? Like, unless he's got the exact kind of hand he has right now, I feel like all the removal and the card draw potential from Just Saying is going to outmatch this.
Yeah. There's the chance that Cthulhu just gets to 30 damage, or you get Bran on the board with Cthulhu, but I feel like, there's so... You know exactly what this deck is going to do. Like, you know exactly what the drops are going to be, and you know exactly what's still going to be left in the deck. Whereas this deck from Just Saying, like, even if it gets to the late game and it's sort of just like a stalemate where no player can win, Just Saying has the Elite Starseeker. So he's got sort of that inevitability where he can just play the map, play the monkey, and just have a bunch of powerful legendaries that he can drop onto the board in that sort of stalemate situation. So it's going to be tough.
I don't know about you, but when I think of inevitability, I definitely think of Cthulhu being the one that wins a lot of those inevitability wars.
But the thing is, Cthulhu with the Druid only has a limited amount of buffs that it can receive. Like, the biggest Cthulhu I've seen in the Druid is like a 20/20, which, okay, 20/20 is great, but like, when is Just Saying with this deck ever going to be below like 20 health with nothing on the
goal? I think the goal if the game is going that long is to couple it with a Bran. Yeah, so that's something that Chalky could easily look for here, and this is going to be a great turn for Chalky. I mean, Fandral just once again paying off in spades. That Innervate is going to be held for a long time. Like, this is kind of like where the game plan leads if it goes to that state.
Bran's double Innervate Cthulhu.
Yeah. Okay, it's been my plan in a lot of the games.
If you put it that way, then I agree. Then maybe that's going to be the game plan. And
it's like the new Force of Nature double Savage Roar.
Sure, yeah, there you go. I feel like Chalky's had a great start, and another way that you can probably win this matchup is just by pressure. Just to get those big minions on the board. Start threatening with cards like Fandral with the Twin Emps that's going to come down next turn. Double 4/6s are really hard to deal with, even if you have double Lightning Storm. That's still not a guarantee to kill it. Maybe with Blood Mage it is, but that's a lot of resources having to be invested into that type of thing.
Yeah. So it's going to be the Hex on Fandral. It's just such a powerful minion to even play them. I mean, the fact that he's got Fandral even to keep that pressure up is so important here. And counting the damage here, I'm curious if that Twilight Elder actually ever helps here. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 would be 1 damage off lethal even if he dropped the Twilight Elder here, so like to hold on it.
Okay, so...
Wow, that's an ugly turn. That does win the joust, but it's only an extra 2 life at this point.
The funny thing is, there's actually not many minions in this deck. And the minions that it does have are very powerful.
Chalky actually had lethal if Just Saying did not heal that turn.
Yeah.
But very similar situation. So when you're in Chalky's spot, you see this heal and you think to yourself, what does this mean? And honestly, he might conclude just hero power go.
You know that there's elemental destruction in this deck. I mean, there has to be. We didn't see one, but it just makes sense, especially with Halaziel being in there, and that ultimate control style deck. You sort of have to run elemental destruction for those emergency board clear situations.
Yeah, this one a little bit more easily sniffed out, I think, than a lot of these weird board clear situations. It is going to be double Lightning Storm to clear this off, so Chalky going to hope to draw something for his reload. The second swipe, honestly, it was a good draw, but at the same time kind of a bad draw, just in the fact he doesn't have any gas to go with it afterwards. But now all of his bad draws are kind of out of the deck. Living Roots is really the only card left that doesn't really do anything. Knows that Saiyans overloaded for 4 this turn. I'd really like to see Chalky not innervate a hero power here. So the Bran innervate Cthulhu dream is off the table at this point.
I mean, I think Chucky realizes that that's a long ways away, and if you give Just Saying that much time, I don't think you win anyway. He's playing to his hand right now, and he is setting up that lethal. He's forcing Just Saying to have a lot because he knows that there's a bunch of overload. He's got to have not only an overload unlock, but either a heal or a way to clear off this board, or Chucky's home free with the amount of damage that he has.
Yeah, there's going to be Lightning Bolt and Lava Shock for the cheerleader to join. Get him! Yeah, blow up that minion. I'm on camera, Mom! Team Sarah gets out of the table here. If Chalky draws a Living Roots, he's actually got lethal. Azure Drake, is that enough for lethal?
He doesn't have enough mana.
Oh, it doesn't have enough mana for it. Azure Drake's still definitely the play there. I think it's definitely the play here.
If only he had held on to the second minute. No. Blood Mage could have made a huge difference in the last turn. So, second Azure Drake, but he just have to use a swipe here in order to preserve this board.
This is looking like an interesting turn here. I mean, Just Saying's going to be able to heal and potentially drop Sylvanas next turn, which is a pretty big deal. I mean, the heal is super important here too because Chalky's just got so much gas left in the tank. Instead, it's going to be Totem. Who I imagine was looking for that spell power totem.
I mean, if this heal doesn't win the joust, I guess it won't be enough either way. But that's, I mean, now you're out of healing waves, so this damage is going to start to stick.
Doesn't win.
Ties the joust. I mean, there's still a lot of expensive minions on Chalky's deck as well. Cthulhu being one of them. He still has the Dark Arakoas and things like that. So,
Just Saying is going to be beastly. Oh my! This is looking really bad for Just Saying. I mean, at this point, he's kind of starting to run out of gas here.
Yeah,
Chalky's going to have swipe, Dark Arakoa, face for 7, and an Azure Drake behind this. He may even consider the hero power here, but I don't think it's relevant with most of the burst gone. Yep, just gonna pass and 16 power Cthulhu at this point.
How do you win from here if you're Just Saying? Even if you clear the board and get down a Sylvanas or anything, what do you do against a Cthulhu? How do you heal back up to full? You need multiple turns, multiple draws, lots of time, and you don't have time with this deck that doesn't have many misses at this stage in the game. A lot of the cards that are still left in Chucky's decks are just reasonably sized threats.
Well, that's a miss.
What? I mean, it's a miss for lethal, but it's not a miss for just a strong body that'll
threaten can't clear
over and over again.
Doomsayer here. Wow, Chalky's just going to dig anyway. Oh, wow.
Wow.
So now Just Saying has entered the super dangerous territory. Like, needed this to succeed, I think, to have a real chance in this game. Fall into 8, can't kill the Azure Drake, but there's a taunt in the way to handle the first attack of Sylvanas. Chalky's going to be able to stick another minion to the board afterwards. And still a lot of draws in the deck can just outright end the game. Elemental Destruction's a great pickup, though. That's going to clear the board and drop Sylvanas down.
I have no time for games.
But is it going to be enough? Now Elemental Destruction's gone, he's sort of got that heal out of the way. But I mean, this could be close. As long as Sylvanas is there, Cthulhu can't be played. And I think Just Saying sort of realizing that, like, if he draws Cthulhu, I sort of have to play Sylvanas. Sylvanas is my own to drop anyway, so I have to play the Sylvanas. It's tough.
I think I'd like to see Chalky make 2 1/1s here. Looks like he's going to hold on to it. Wants the surprise damage on the burst to be there. It's Just Saying going to steal this. I mean, I imagine this is a Lightning Bolt on your own Sylvanas here. Lava Shock instead. Rolls a taunt as well. That's pretty huge.
Yeah.
So 4-5 and a taunt totem. And more totems to come. But it's only 7 life. Chalky's got 34 health. And his deck is pretty darn stacked at the moment.
I mean, that Innervate's not doing anything right now. And he doesn't have a swipe left. So he doesn't really have many draws that are going to get him there. I mean, I guess Raven Idols, if they're in the deck. But we haven't seen one yet. And
here's the thing. With Blood Mage added in here, with Blood Mage added in here, I would venture to say the Raven Idol's probably been cut at this point, because we've also seen 2 Living Roots. And this deck oftentimes only runs 1 copy of Living Roots. Yeah. So it looks like he's replaced the Raven Idols with those, and he's actually just going to Living Roots face and attack that Taunt Totem. He's playing partially for a Druid of the Claw out here as well.
Yeah, but a Healing Totem is going to do work. A Stormforged Axe.
That's not a good draw. That is not a good draw right now.
Hey, man, that's 6 damage for 2 mana. Give me a break.
3 mana.
Oh, true.
That's just there to buff Tunnel Trog.
Yeah. If there is a Tunnel Trog.
I'm going to be honest. If you have to say if there's a Tunnel Trog when referring to a Shaman deck, I think that's the wrong build.
It's a bad
that's the wrong build.
Yeah, fair enough. Good point. I mean, even just Cthulhu is just more likely to steal it this turn. Sylvanas. I mean, I guess if you just Sylvanas, Cthulhu's Chosen, and Innervate out Hero Power, how do you lose?
It's going to be really tough. We'll see what he decides to go with here.
Both Lightning Storms are gone. Elemental Destruction's gone. Does he run 2?
I don't know. Chalky's going to think this over. Wow, actually just going to be patient and pass.
Oh.
I'm very surprised by that. And maybe a little bit punished here for that pass. Thing from below is going to hit the board. Lightning Bolt to clear this out. And I think Just Saying's going to hold on to this axe to attempt to continue to... Oh, no, never mind. He's going to get busy. I was about to say, I think Chalky was worried about a second Hex there, which is why he didn't drop it.
Both Hexes are gone.
Oh, are they gone?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
How's your Stormforged Axe now, says Harrison Jones. 2 more cards picked up for Chalky. Oh, so close to the lethal here. Sylvanas going to put massive pressure on this board. Just saying, his back is against the wall right now. Down to 4. Only 8 mana. Cairn is not good enough. And that's going to do it. Chalky is going to win game number 3 here. Well, no, he can't.
No, he can't.
Taunt Totem will do it.
Yeah, Taunt Totem will just get discipled of Cthulhu. And he gets Healing Totem anyway, so he's going to throw it on the Cairn and hope that there's not 4 damage remaining. He has seen both swipes, but that is going to be Chalky taking it.
Oh, you definitely brand the Cthulhu's.
Oh.
Definitely No! Incorrect way to victory. Chalky 2-1. Now over saying, I'm not gonna lie. I think that Chalky's curve is what won this game. I don't necessarily think it's the builds for the matchup, because I still think that Shaman deck is probably favored. I just think that given the way that the hands panned out, Chalky had so much pressure at every step of the way. I mean, this was turn 2 Wild Growth into Cthulhu's Chosen, into clear the Taunt Totem, clear the Manatide Totem, into Twin Emperor, and that is ridiculous amounts of pressure when you're talking about trying to fend off things threat by threat by threat, and then hoping Lightning Storm clear things up. Instead, he had to double Lightning Storm. He had to use resources inefficiently. Just too much.